My name's Sean Reardon, and I work on a golf course, and I go to Rutgers for golf turf management school.
My name's Megan Farnkoff. I'm 21 years old. I go to Rowan University, and I'm a psychology major.
Bullying means to me any kind of acts of aggression towards another person um, in hopes to cause harm to that person, whether physically or emotionally.
Bullying means targeting someone that you feel is lesser than you, like picking on their insecurities, making them feel bad about themselves physically, emotionally, in all types of ways.
I think most bullying doesn't happen in person. I think it probably happens over the internet. Today, with all the social media and everything, I think more kids bully over the internet.
No, I think bullying can happen anywhere. It happens online a lot these days because all the kids have social media, and there's many like websites that you can go anonymous and pick on people, so that makes it a lot easier since you don't have to like see the person face to face. And also bullying happens to adults, like in the workplace, like managers can be bullies to their coworkers even though they're have a big difference in age, they still bully them.
Yes, I witnessed bullying firsthand many times. Two that usually come to mind were both on buses going from one was middle school and one was high school, and those were the two like main ones that I've seen that were just obvious acts of bullying. One of them, the kid was this kid that lived on my street in middle school was trying to walk to his bus and or trying to get on his bus, and two kids were pulling him by the backpack and messing with him, and it was obvious that the kid didn't want any part of it, and they kept doing it. And the bus driver that he was getting on the bus for didn't say a word, and I went on and told her that obviously she should be doing something about that, and let the school know, and the school took action on the bus driver. And another one, I was leaving high school, and a kid living on my street at the time also was being picked on by these two kids behind him, and it was just verbal abuse at that point.
I've definitely witnessed bullying while in school, but mostly online. It happens a lot with teenagers, just like going back and forth online, like, and everyone joins in when everyone can see it. It's just like entertaining for most people, so they just like think it's funny and they don't realize like the seriousness of it.
I've never been bullied to the point where I could say like with confidence that I have, but I think in some way or another, everybody's been bullied. If somebody's picking on you or saying something in general, then that's bullying. But I can't remember, or I can't recall a situation where I would say that I was bullied. Um, but I think everybody has some sort of bullying done to them.
Yeah, there's like many places where you can be bullied in school without, like in the hallways. I mean, sometimes there's teachers standing in the hallways, but in the bathrooms, in the locker rooms, there's not always teachers or other people watching out for these things. There's so many places that can happen without people knowing. A time that I've witnessed someone being bullied, probably online mostly. There's many times I've seen people from my school in high school getting picked on. Um, it's usually over stupid little things, but like you don't really realize what it's like, how it's affecting the person because you're just typing it. You're not seeing how they're reacting to what you're saying. So pretty much I've seen most of it online, but there are a few instances that I've seen in person. Yeah, there's a lot of bullying in college also with like the fraternities and sororities. There's so much bullying within them, even though all those people are supposed to be really close friends. There's like all the hazing and stuff. That's extreme bullying in most cases, and it definitely happens a lot.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty common with friends. Some people get jealous of their friends. Some people um, feel it's necessary to pick on their friends to, you know, show dominance towards them or something. I've seen that before But you gotta pick your friends better than that.
There's a website called Ask FM while I was in school where you could anonymously write things to people, which was a big problem because many people used it to bully other people without obviously them knowing who they were. They would pick on their appearances, things that they've done, everything really, and it was kind of just amusing to those people that could use it to target other people without them knowing.
Bullying's affected my life in the way that it makes you think about, um, how to handle situations when you see them. I think, somebody that doesn't step in front of people getting bullied is, just as bad as if you bullied somebody yourself. I think it shows a lot about people that let it happen in front of them and not do anything.
I would say bullying affected me mostly by seeing it. It was very upsetting to see people who were quiet in school and didn't really, they had like one or two friends, but they didn't have a big group. They didn't really have people to stick up for them. They were the ones that got targeted mostly, and it was sad to see that happen to them, and they were too quiet or too shy or didn't have anyone to stick up for them, so they just kind of took it, and it really took a toll on them, and it was just sad to see.
Oh, definitely. I mean, bullying, yeah, that bullying can affect people. Well, I think bullying would affect people if done to them at an early age. Obviously, you would have trust issues with people. You'd probably be more aggressive. You'd probably bully people yourself. I mean, I think that's probably documented that a lot of people that have problems with aggression probably have been bullied themselves, whether being abused by their parents or being bullied at school at a young age. Some people, develop well from it, and a lot of people probably don't. I don't think bullying only happens in schools. I think it happens everywhere. Probably can happen at your job. It can happen, when you're hanging out, if you're at a party. It could happen anywhere, online.
I definitely wasn't aware that it was such a big number of people that were bullied every month, but it's not surprising knowing that there are so many different like platforms for people to bully others on these days, like online and in school. It's definitely not surprising, but you only really hear about it if like something terrible happens from it. You don't like just hear about bullying and the people that are bullied don't really say anything or like do anything about it. You just hear about the more terrible like instances.
I'm aware that 280,000 people were attacked, but that number doesn't surprise me. Kids are pretty bad with that stuff, and it's a pretty terrible thing.
If I think about things that I've done when I was younger, I would say it could be considered bullying, but like I didn't necessarily know that I was bullying someone at the time. Like I might have just thought it was something funny, just joking around, but like that person probably took it in a serious manner, and I didn't even realize at the time, but it probably affected them in a negative way. So yeah, I probably have done something that could be considered bullying, but I didn't necessarily know that it was at the time.
I've looked back and realized that I've acted in a bullying manner before. Did I mean to do it? No, but it had. I've definitely thought of it and came to the conclusion that it was bullying. Um, it didn't happen. I've never done it on purpose. After that, that was when I was a kid. Just messing with another kid. But after that, I try and treat people better than that. I think that bullying can be stopped or reduced in schools by the school just taking more drastic measures to enforce more punishment towards any kind of acts of bullying. I think that the schools right now do a lot of things to try and stop it. At the end of the day, it's hard to control any acts from people. Obviously there's laws for things and people still do it. But maybe in school, um, try and make the punishments more severe in that any kind of acts that are seen online, some kind of expulsion policy, a few times and they're done. Maybe even have the parents come in to take some kind of class where you can see if your child is exhibiting bullying behavior and try and figure out why and maybe get them some help. Um, just anything like that that would be more severe than just suspensions or detentions that they get now.
Bullying can be stopped and reduced in schools by, I guess, putting more teachers or security like in places where bullying occurs, that like there aren't those people like to make sure that it's not happening. Online it's kind of difficult because the parents have to take action to make sure their kids aren't like taking part in that online, which is kind of difficult unless you're monitoring your kids all the time, which is not something that a lot of parents like to do. But it's important that kids know how like bad it actually can be, and it's kind of hard for them to wrap their minds around it because they're so young and they just think it's like a funny and a joke and whatever. But if they have like, say like presentations every once in a while, like someone comes in, gives their like experience with bullying and like how it really affected them, that could maybe like make a difference in how they see bullying and how serious it is.
I think the suicide rates being high from bullying is, obviously that's terrible, and I wish that there was more things that we could do as a society to either stop bullying or figure out how to get help to the people that need it before that happens. I think that it's probably hard to prevent suicide, especially in kids, because I think a lot of the time you wouldn't even know that there's an issue before that act is taken. Um, I think parents just need to try and be as vigilant as they can.
I think that the suicide rates being so high because of bullying is really sad, obviously, but it's definitely not surprising because the people that are being bullied often feel like they don't have anyone to talk to, especially online. If you don't have a lot of friends and all these people are teaming up on you online, like you don't want to tell your parents about it because you might be embarrassed, and then you don't have any friends that are going to stick up to the people that are bullying you online. You feel like you have no one to talk to, and that just everyone's against you, and that could really have a big effect on how you feel and like make you feel really alone. So it's definitely not surprising, and it's terrible. I think my thoughts about bullying overall is that it's like a really big problem. Like many people don't realize how big of a problem that it is, and it's really hard to stop because there's always going to be people that don't have the same moral compass as others. Like they won't see that it's wrong, and they're still going to do it. And no matter how many things we put into effect to try to lessen it, like it's still going to happen. But there's definitely things that we can do to make it less common.